What's up, guys? Back at me is here today. We got Smallville Season 1, Episode 14, 0. Okay, also, please check out my Patreon. Yeah, if you haven't checked out my Patreon, please check it out. I would really like for you guys to be on my Patreon. You can check out my polls, you can check out my community tab that I'm gonna have. You can be a name on my videos. Yeah. You can get early access if you're a Patreon. So yeah, please check out my Patreon. It would be yeah. But anyway, let's get into this episode. Okay, so this episode starts off with Lex being captured by this guy, and this guy says, "Oh yeah, Lex killed him." So we get into this flashback of 3 years ago in Metropolis, where Lex is at this place called Club Zero, and 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 he's with this like girl. And she discovers that her like fiance, she's ready to party it up since her fiance's gone, but nope, her fiance is not gone. He is there, and she says, "Sorry, but I don't want to be with you. You were meant to be on business, but you lied to me. So see ya." And he blames Lex for it. He's like, "You did this on purpose." So what does this guy do? What does this guy do? He attacks Lex in the shoulder and gets shot by someone. So yeah. So yeah, then we take out the flashback, and then we get to 30. Then we get to earlier before that attack, and this guy named Royce. Jude Royce shows up at the town because the town is being renovated for one his grand opening, and he's like, "Hey, Lex Luthor isn't what he seems," and yeah. So yeah, so then Lex's bodyguard Max says that he's been following, and he's like, "Who?" And he's like, "Jude Royce," and Lex is like, "That's impossible." So yeah, so yeah, so then they go and they go and they and yeah. So Lex is Clark is wanting to know who this Jude Royce guy is and why is he after Lex. So yeah. Yeah, and also Chloe is looking into Clark's adoption. She wants to know how the adoption was settled. And Clark, he's pretty furious. He's like, what? He's like, yeah, he's pretty furious later. He first, and they're like, Chloe wants to know about your adoption. What is this, Clark? And he's like, we just got the assignment. I didn't know that she was gonna do it on me. And yeah. And Chloe keeps looking into it, and Clark just gets to a boiling point where he's like, "Chloe, stop doing it." And he's like, "Don't you want to know where you're from?" And it's like, "Don't you want to know where your biological parents are?" And Clark's like, "No, my biological parents are dead or don't want me. So stop looking into this." So yeah, so yeah. So that's happening. Lana goes to town and she sees the janitor, and she sees that guy knocked him over the head, and tell him, and then Lex opens up, and this scared me. Like, I watched it last night and it totally scared me because Lex opens up the box, and the hand of his bodyguard is in it. Yeah. So, the hand of Max is in it. So, yeah. So, 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 so while this happening, June. So while this is happening, we keep getting flashbacks to Club Zero. Sam Phelan was the one on the case. Still don't like him, and he's like, and Lex tells him about what happened, and he's like, don't tell anyone. No one's gonna know you. No one's gonna know you're here. You're a criminal. Like Sam Phelan's like everything's done. So yeah. So yeah. So when Jonathan are just talking when they look over to their cows and all their cows have died because of Luthor Corp. So Jonathan, he's mad at Lex. He's like Lex, you can't make anything with money. You can't make anything better with money and yeah. So yeah. So then Sheriff, the sheriff, Ethan Miller's like like the URP is gonna talk to you, but that's not the real URP, cause it's Jude Roy, and he kidnaps Lex, and then we see at the beginning of the episode where he's like, Lex, I saw the police reports, they must have been tampered with somehow, and then he's like, no, they weren't, and he's like, yeah, he's like, you killed him or something, yeah, so yeah, but then but then yeah, so then it's very creepy, and but then he gets killed by Amanda's brother, because Amanda's brother was the real mastermind behind all of this. He was in it, like, he saw a guy who looked just like Jude Roy and hired him to pretend to be Jude Roy to ruin Lex's life for the death of because his sister committed suicide because of the death of Jude Royce. And Lex is like, I will tell you what really happened. And yes, what really happened is that she killed Jude, and yeah, and her brother and a man's brother, he won't believe this. He's like, you're lying again, and he's like, I'm done with you, Lex Luthor, and told him. But then when Clark there, because Clark thought that Club Zero was gone, because Chloe and him, they discovered the Club Zero was not gone. So Clark went, and he's like, hey, Club Zero shut down, and now it's a warehouse. So Clark goes, and he sees Lex, and he takes down the guy. He takes down her brother, and yeah. And the town has the grand opening, and Clark gives Lana the picture of he says that he found it, that his grandfather gave it me, took the picture when the town reopened, and basically that's how the episode ends. Okay, so this episode was very cool. It was also very scary because Club Zero is very haunting in Alexa's past. Club Zero is very haunting in Alexa's past, like Club Zero, and yeah. And also, please check out my Patreon. I would really appreciate it if my subscribers checked out my Patreon. I might keep saying it every time I do a video, because that's what YouTubers do. They want people to join their Patreon. So yeah. So I hope you guys like. Yeah, Chloe, she was kind of annoying in this episode, just budging into businesses that she didn't belong. Like Clark basically told her, hey, don't look into it, but she eventually saved. Yeah, I forgot to mention. There was a scene where she was looking up the Clark, where she had Clark's adoption issue papers, and she saved them, meaning that she's not gonna continue into the investigation of Clark, which is very annoying. Very annoying. Yeah. So please like this video. Please subscribe, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I'll see you next Smallville.